countered it. PJ Barch with the counter submission.
So I'm still working on my leg locks a lot. I don't play them super often, but you're very well known for your counter leg locks. We saw you take home the bronze medal ADCC in your match against Elijah Dorsey. Do you mind breaking down that kind of transaction for us?
For sure. This is like kind of, it's a funny one because this is like, I got this from Junny Acosta, I think his name is, in New York. Ocasio, yeah. He calls it the Junny Lock, and to be honest, I never saw an instructional or like even an instructing video on the thing, but I saw it briefly, and so I don't know exactly how he prefers to finish this and things like that. But I know that like during the ADCC camp, just to kind of like troll my friends, I was playing around with it a lot, and it's still just like, to me, like kind of a troll move a little bit, but it works pretty well in certain situations, right? So when he's like fed inside right here, and he's on this outside heel hook, anytime my leg's on the outside, like I have, or maybe he doesn't even have it, but either way, I'm gonna go through like my typical strain of defenses, right? And so like when Elijah was here, for instance, I could tell that I could turn my knee this direction. You know what I mean? So as soon as I can turn my knee this direction, I feel very safe in this position, right? If he was able to like wedge himself up against this more, I would feel in a lot more danger here. You know what I mean? And then I'd be like circling to clear and doing things so that this can now turn my knee again. You know what I mean? And so like in that match, I was already up on points, and Elijah was kind of holding on to this, kind of sending in a little bit, but I could tell that like there was a lot of play still because my knee could bend. And you know, I could have waited out the match, but once we had kind of got to this spot where I got both of my legs on this side and got him split, in the gym I tend to roll forward, and I'm not sure if this is what Junny does with it or not, but like I tend to like capture this Achilles right here and start passing the toes to my armpit as I roll under, because it allows me like to really catch an angle on this as I roll, and then a lot of times I catch it at the end of this. So his hip's kind of trapped a little bit with this, and I just have this really like beefy inside heel hook that I can take, right? And I did this at PGF in this way once, you know, but I think even at PGF maybe my foot had slid out and I was just kind of holding on to it a little bit. But with Elijah, for instance,
here, let's spin around this way.
Yeah. With it being like at ADCC and stuff, I didn't want to take any risks of rolling under him, and so like when I had gotten to this position, I had just taken and I had a full grip from right here, and it was kind of like I said, it was pretty unexpected for him, I think, and we were both a little tired at that point. So like me, like being able to get this grip, I didn't see the need to necessarily roll under, and so I just started to take it this way to that same ending point where I still have the hip trapped a little bit, and I just kind of can sit on it and rotate through. So a lot of people like don't quite understand, because they say, oh well, there's no connection to the hip, but like it's the fact that my leg is fed into your hip, that the hip is kind of trapped through that movement. You know what I mean? And whether you have the outside heel hook or not, like this is a pretty robust like inside heel hook grip that's gonna do some damage. You know what I mean? And the only way it can kind of clear is if like this one gets knocked over, right? And you can move your hips out of this position in some kind of way that kind of frees up your...
Right.
Just 30 seconds. PJ just looking like he's not really in danger at all. Yeah, he's like, I'm not gonna, it almost looks like he's not gonna tap no matter what. Now he's got he countered it. PJ Barch with the counter submission submits Elijah Dorsey.
To each his own, I think, you know, like I think that I've seen people actually like do this and feed it through this way to this full grip and stuff like that. I've always felt pretty good at just about like kind of being able to, as long as I have a decent grip here, I'm trying to go like as deep as I can usually, but like a lot of times it just winds up here. You know, I think anything from like a gable is just getting tighter as you go this way and attach it to your body more. You know what I mean? And then they have all these reverse grips and stuff, but I don't tend to think they're necessary for inside heel hooks, but maybe outside heel hooks and straight ankle locks and stuff for sure.
The one thing that you left out about that transaction was the smile that you gave your corner right before you let it rip. What was that moment? Like, when did you realize he doesn't know that I'm gonna get this?
That was just like me like thinking in the gym of how much like I just trolled people from that, like right. in the gym all the time. You know, like I think I have like a full, because I filmed all my rounds in my camp, you know, to like rewatch and stuff, and I probably have a full highlight reel of me just like doing this on people, like feeding my leg to them all the time and letting them go for heel hooks and things like that, and then just sending this when it's time to go. So I think that like I looked up, I realized like I was winning, that it was short time, and that I wasn't gonna have to go to overtime. So I was like pretty grateful for that, and that like whatever happens from here, you know, like if I get a submission, like cool, but whatever.